This story isn't just another urban legend. In the small town of Green Hollow, something sinister stirs every midnight. An old radio station forgotten by time springs to life, broadcasting eerie messages that seem to unveil the future's darkest secrets. But those who listen find themselves caught in a terrifying web of fate. It all started with hushed whispers among the townsfolk. Each night, exactly at midnight, the forgotten station crackled to life, transmitting messages from the past. These transmissions predicted calamities with chilling accuracy, leaving listeners haunted by the ominous revelations. Few dared to listen, but many feared its inevitable truth. Enter Emma, a skeptical journalist determined to uncover the truth. Curious, she arrived in Green Hollow, dismissing the tales as mere folklore. But as the clock ticked towards midnight, she felt an inexplicable pull towards the abandoned radio tower, where history was waiting to be unearthed. The townsfolk spoke of a tragedy from the 1950s. A storm had struck the tower during a live broadcast, claiming the lives of those inside. Since then, the radio station had remained silent, or so they thought. Emma's investigation would soon reveal that silence was never the truth. As midnight approached, Emma sat in her car, radio tuned to the station's frequency. At the stroke of 12, the static cleared, revealing a voice, a chilling echo from the past. Her heart raced as it spoke, recounting events that bore uncanny resemblance to the lives of those she had met earlier. The voice continued, detailing a tragedy that seemed far too personal. Emma realized with a jolt that it was her own family's history being recounted, a secret past long buried. Every word resonated with a truth she was unprepared to confront, as if the broadcast was speaking directly to her very soul. Determined to find the source, Emma ventured towards the abandoned tower. The path was treacherous, overgrown with weeds and tangled roots. Each step she took was accompanied by the whispers of the past, urging her to turn back before it was too late. But the truth beckoned her forward. Emma reached the tower, its looming structure draped in shadows. The air crackled with an unseen energy, and the wind carried faint echoes of distant voices. As she stepped inside, she found herself enveloped by an overwhelming sense of history, a place frozen in time, yet alive with memories. Inside, she discovered yellowing logs and faded photographs, relics of a bygone era. Among them lay a diary, its pages filled with cryptic notes and desperate messages. It belonged to her great-grandfather, the station's last broadcaster, who had tried to warn the world of a looming disaster. The diary revealed a chilling secret. The broadcasts weren't just predictions, but a catalyst for what was to come. Her great-grandfather had intended to stop the cycle, but fate had other plans. Emma realized that history was poised to repeat itself, with her family once again at its center. Suddenly, the air around her grew cold, and the familiar hum of the radio intensified. The spectral voice began to speak again, this time clearer than ever. It spoke of a fire, a catastrophe that threatened to consume Green Hollow. Emma's heart pounded as the realization hit her. As the words filled the room, Emma was overcome by a sense of urgency. She had to warn the town, break the cycle before it was too late. But deep down, she knew that ending the nightmare meant confronting the very forces that had remained in the shadows for decades. Leaving the tower, Emma raced back to town, her mind a whirlwind of fear and determination. The spectral broadcast echoed in her ears, each word a reminder of the stakes at hand. She wondered if her actions were enough to break the curse that had haunted her family for generations. As she returned to Green Hollow, Emma realized she wasn't alone. Shadows seemed to follow her every move, as if the past was watching, waiting for her next decision. Despite the fear, she pressed on, driven by the hope that she could change her fate and that of the town. Emma reached the town square, her breath visible in the cool night air. She shouted warnings to anyone who would listen, urging them to prepare for the impending disaster. The townsfolk, hearing the panic in her voice, began to rally, their fear tempered by the hope of survival. But as the night wore on, Emma realized a darker truth. The broadcast was more than just a warning. It was a call to fulfill a destiny etched in time. She felt the weight of generations on her shoulders, knowing that her actions would determine the outcome of the story. With renewed resolve, Emma sought out the town's historians, digging deeper into the mysteries of the past. Together, they pieced together the events leading to the initial tragedy, uncovering secrets that had been buried with the victims of the storm, secrets linking the town to the spectral broadcasts. As they delved into history, Emma saw the pattern clearly. The broadcasts were more than echoes. They were the voice of a restless past seeking closure. Her family's role was central, a bridge between what was and what could be, a chance to rewrite the narrative of Green Hollow. The terrifying revelation dawned on Emma. The midnight signal was no mere prediction. It was a catalyst set in motion by her investigation. Her pursuit of truth had triggered the very fate she sought to prevent. Now she was the key, the final piece in a puzzle spanning decades of despair. As the clock approached midnight once more, Emma stood ready to face her destiny, armed with knowledge and courage. The air crackled with anticipation, the town holding its breath. If you're watching this in the dark, remember sometimes the past is only a whisper away. Subscribe. More stories are coming.